another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Just going to get into it. Okay, so Pat Riley became head coach of the Miami Heat after the 95 season, okay? But actually, the Miami Heat actually had their eyes on another coach from college, okay? His name is Bob Huggins, okay, who was coaching at the University of Cincinnati at that time, okay. They had Bob Huggins in their sights, okay. But he withdrew as a candidate for the head coaching job, for the Miami Heat. If I never have another chance to coach in the NBA, I can live with it, Huggins said at a news conference in Cincinnati. What I am committed to right now is making the best basketball program I can make it. Huggins, who has coached Cincinnati to a Final Four appearance and 4 consecutive NCAA appearances, reportedly emerged as a leading candidate for the Miami job last week. The Heat are looking to replace Alvin Gentry, who was fired last month. Okay. So, Bob Huggins was a top candidate for the Miami Heat job, but he withdrew from consideration and signed a 10-year contract extension to remain at the University of Cincinnati. Okay. And that's when Pat Riley, who had just resigned from the Knicks days earlier, took the job. The Heat were looking for a new coach after firing Kevin Lockery and interim coach Alvin Gentry. The offer that they made Huggins, Huggins, who had built a powerhouse at Cincinnati, became the leading candidate to fill the Miami vacancy. Then Heat owner Mickey Arison later revealed they were within 24 hours of hiring Huggins before a sudden shift in the market, okay? On June 18th, 1995, Huggins announced he was withdrawing as a candidate. He stated at a press conference that he preferred to stay in college basketball and committed to his Bearcats program. That very same weekend, Huggins pulled out. Pat Riley unexpectedly resigned from the New York Knicks and took the Heat's president and head coaching job. Meanwhile, Huggins was rewarded with a 10-year contract extension at Cincinnati. Okay. Yeah, so, he was on the verge of going to the Miami Heat. Almost did. He also nearly went to the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. He turned down a 4-year contract reportedly worth $8 million. For the 2001 season, okay? We received a call from Coach Huggins Monday evening notifying us of his latest position, said Joe Safety, the Clippers Vice President of Communications. We wish him well. To have an opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA and to coach the greatest basketball players in the world is without a doubt a goal of mine, Huggins said. I'm hoping someday I have the opportunity again, but for now I have made commitments to players, families, and the community that I would like to see through. Okay. Yeah. So, Yeah, he was offered the Heat job, nearly took it, turned it down, offered the Clippers job. Who would want to take the Clippers job at that time? Yeah, but yeah, that would have been real interesting to see Bob Huggins coaching Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, Dan Hartley. Okay, would have been interesting to see Bob Huggins coaching Lamar Odom, Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles. Okay, those players. So so I saw this the other day. Um, Tracy McGrady on why the Rockets' 22-game win streak was harder than the Heatles. We didn't have three guys making $100 million. Okay, it's the name of the article. So the article reads like this: you want to criticize? Then it's important to back it up. Sure, you don't have to be a chef to say the food tastes bad, but credibility still matters. Tracy McGrady had that in abundance when going after the 2013 Miami Heat. At the time, the star-studded team led by James, Wade, and Bosh was in the middle of a 22-game winning streak. Impressive on paper, right? Still, a lot of people brushed it off as the usual super team shortcut stuff. McGrady's jab, it carried more weight, though. To understand it, you have to go back a bit. Okay, so this part of the article is titled How a Shorthanded Team Won 22 Straight. The Heatles won a ring in 2012. About 9 months later, they were still rolling. The league super team eventually pushed that streak to 27. That streak was broken by the Chicago Bulls, by the way. Yeah, the Chicago Bulls broke that had streak. Yeah. McGrady, for his part, has talked plenty about carrying rosters without real support. In Houston during the 2007-8 season, he certainly didn't have much. Sure, Yao Ming was there on paper. In reality, the legendary big man was banged up and barely available. You might think that would make life difficult for McGrady. It didn't. The two-time scoring champion still led the Rockets to 22 straight wins. Houston hit that mark in March 2008. A few days later, the run ended against the Boston Celtics, who blew them out 94-74. Okay? Yeah. They went on to win the title that year. That may have softened the blow a bit. Tracy McGrady recently spoke on why Houston's win streak meant more. Okay? Put those two runs aside, and McGrady has no doubt which one impressed him more. He made it clear while Miami was in the middle of its own. I'm enjoying watching because of the unknown, the seven-time All-Star remarked. But the way we did it was a lot harder. We didn't have three guys making $100 million. Chris Broussard, writing for ESPN at the time, took it as a clear jab at the combined salaries of James, Wade, and Bosh. They were making around $17 million. The number didn't quite add up in today's game, though. McGrady's point would land easily. What he also said is even tougher to dispute. Years later, he noted that Houston did it without star power, relying on other factors. The guys knew their roles. We played hard. We played smart. Most of all, we cared for one another. We stepped on the court and we formed a chemistry that nobody could really break, McGrady said. Indeed, under veteran coach Rick Adelman, veterans like Mutombo, Rafer Alston, Shane Battier, Luis Scola also did their thing. Most of those names don't get mentioned much anymore, but they matter. McGrady made that point himself, saying when people now look at the roster, the streak they put together, they ask him how the hell did you all do that. It shows something important. Sometimes the bond within the team matters more than anything else. McGrady has said as much over the years, pointing to the stretch as the one time he truly felt complete trust in the group around him. Without that, the run doesn't happen. Okay. So, the question is, was the Rockets' 22-game win streak more impressive than the Miami Heat's 27-game win streak? Okay. I would have to give a slight edge to the 2008 Rockets. Okay. I would have to give a slight edge to the 2008 Rockets. Think about how it is. That 22-game win streak, nobody remembers. Okay? Nobody remembers that 22-game win streak because they got kicked out of the first round of the playoffs. Okay? So yeah. Yeah. I made a video a couple of weeks back. The 22-game win streak that nobody remembers, okay? Like the 94 Rockets, okay? The 94 Rockets won 15 straight to open the season. And they ended up winning the title that year. People remember that winning streak, okay? But the 2008 Rockets winning streak, nobody remembers. Again, because they got kicked out of the first round, okay? But yeah, so I think Tracy McGrady may have a point. That he was doing it with lesser known star power like Dikembe Mutombo, Luis Scola, Shane Battier, Rafer Alston, the late Rick Adelman as head coach. Okay, Yao Ming. Okay, so McGrady may have a point on that one. All right, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here, and God bless you all.